Okay. In last week's Sunday sermon, I discussed the need for women to become far more pragmatic when deciding who to get involved with, to who to date, who to marry, who to have children with, and just who's in your life that you plan to have there for a long time. There needs to be more thought given to that. I mean, you look at what's going on right now. I mean, who has the time to be messing around with somebody who's just going to be a knucklehead and just waste your time? Nobody really wants to do that. No one has resources or the time or the lifespan to do that. So what we got to do, ladies, is come up with a plan to make the time that you do have and the time that you do spend more productive. Because nobody wants to keep starting over and over and over again. It costs them a lot of time. It costs you money. If you get in and out of a marriage and divorce and all that, that costs a lot of money. And it will also cost you emotionally and mentally to have to keep dealing with the disappointment and the broken heart over and over again. So, let's work on that and let's get a little bit more thought into who we choose. So with that in mind, I'm suggesting that you take a very different approach to how you screen men. It's going to be, for some of you, you're going to look at this as being a little bit hardcore. That's okay, because evidently what you've been doing has not been working. So why not try something new? So you got this dude, right? You see this guy, it's pretty cool and everything. And, you just kind of dating around. I mean, it's nothing really serious. But now he proposes that you two be serious. He wants you to be with just him. He wants you to date him. He wants you to maybe move in with him. He wants you to become his wife. He wants you to have his baby. They be coming with all kind of stuff. But anyway, before you agree to any of that, you need to ask what he's offering you. And just ask him straight up, what's in it for me? Tell me 10 ways that you will make my life better if I get with you. Okay. Now, a lot of you, like I said, you're going to have a problem with it because you're going to be like, oh my God, that's just so harsh. He won't be able to give an answer. That's the point. If he can't give an answer, then that means he don't know what he could do for you. And if the man don't know what he could do for you, then the answer to that is nothing. Okay, so you don't mess with him. You just let him, just leave him alone because he needs to figure that kind of thing out. Having a woman in your corner and in your life like that is a privilege. Not every man deserves it. And you have to start thinking of yourself in that terms. Think of all the effort and the energy and time that women put into their relationships. That has value. You have got to start thinking differently about who you align yourself with. You don't get with a man just because he likes you. He has to be able to offer you something in exchange for all that you're going to give to him, all the emotional labor that you're going to invest in him and his extended family and any children that he may have, and of course any children that the two of you have together. He needs to have answers. Okay, you ask him that question, he needs to have answers. And his answers need to be specific. And his answers need to be very detailed. And all his answers should answer all your questions, and whatever it is that you sign it on for should be clearly spelled out. There should be no doubt about what the program is here and what this man's going to be doing, saying, and what the plan is. And whatever he says should be able to be backed up by how he's living. You're not getting on if you pass 20, you should not be getting with no man for his potential. Okay, say about 24. People are staying in college a little bit longer these days. It costs a lot more. So, by the time a dude's out of school, that whatever potential he has, he should be working on. It should be being actualized at this point. So you're not looking at what he's going to want to, should have the plan for the future, this and that. What is he doing right now? How is he living? That is what's going to tell you what he's actually capable of. You should be seeing some tangible proof that what he's saying to you about where he's going to go and where he's going to take you should be backed up by what is really going on in his life, okay? That's something you need to pay attention to. So all of this should be happening before you agree to commit to him and whatever, program he's proposing. So last week, I asked everybody to do a little homework assignment, which consisted of making a list of the things that you need from a man. And these are emotional things, okay? Which I think a lot of you just don't even really think about what you need emotionally from someone. Most women will make a list, but it consists of stuff like, oh, I need a God-fearing man. I need a man who's a hard worker, who's honest, who's educated. I want somebody who's tall and good looking. I need him to be a good dresser. I need him to have his own stuff. No kids, or maybe just one kid. He has a good job. He's family oriented. You have things like that. Okay, that's good. That's great. That's all wonderful, But I'm looking for you to talk about the things that he would do, what he's going to bring to your life that translate into him caring for and loving you. Now, all of those things are good. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be getting with a troll or anything like that, but that's not the purpose of this series that we're doing right now. It's going to end up being 3. Let me just tell you now. I decided not to put all the things of my whole list in one, so I'm breaking it up. This video has 5. So that's why you had that homework, because I wanted you guys to kind of get into, start thinking differently about this and understand that if you have a partner that meets your expectations and that provides you with the things that you are going to be looking for emotionally, that is the key to you being truly happy in your relationship. Both of you guys will actually have the opportunity to live that happily ever after that we all heard growing up. But it's going to become, it becomes an issue of you being very thoughtful about who you choose. So that's why you had the homework. So now over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to share this list. Like I said, I'm dividing it up into 2 videos. And this list is going to consist of actions and behaviors and personality traits and the ways that he interacts with you. That's what you're going to be thinking about. These are these are only ideas though. And they are presented in no particular order of importance. I want you to understand that. They just in the order that they came out of my head. That's about it. But only you can decide if these things that I'm going to present to you are important to you or not. You also going to be the one who decides, okay, so they are important. Well, how important? I mean, you're going to put a different weight on them. You're going to, you possibly will adjust them. I don't think that that's a good idea, though. You may add more, but I think that I put a lot of thought into this, and I don't really know any woman who doesn't want these things and doesn't need these things to feel good in her relationship. So now let's get started. How might a man make your life better in ways that you can see? Things that he does and says that actually improve things. What should he be able to say to you when you ask him, what's in it for me? Well, let's start. Let's go with number 1. I think he should be able to demonstrate to you that he is a trustworthy, real dude, authentic, that you can count on. It's like what you see is what you get, and what you see is good. And you want a dude who, like, when difficulties arise, as they are always going to do, we all in some very difficult times right now, does he fall apart under pressure? Or is he able to bend and bob and weave and, pop out on the other side like, yeah, that was rough, but look, here we are, nobody broke. Because, women need a guy who's going to treasure her and thinks, it feels like her love for him is important. We need a man who's just never going to let us down. Can he express his feelings to you? I mean, his honest, true feelings, not, like, yeah, I love you too. That kind of thing. Or you say it and then he says, yeah, me too. No, you want him to be able to express his honest feelings, not only about you and your relationship, but about whatever else is going on in his life, so that you two feel close. Can he take responsibility for his actions? This is really important. This is a guy who's somebody, that you can count on because he expresses maturity and self accountability. Does he understand the value of what you offer as far as your time, your love, and your heart? Is he emotionally and mentally and financially stable? Can he handle himself with all the bumps of life that come bumping along? Or is he the type that runs and hides when things get too emotional? He like shuts down, just leaves you hanging. You sitting there all by yourself. Can you count on him with little things? Because if you can't count on him with little things, don't even be trying to think about counting on him for nothing big. Where are you getting that thought from? He's already fell down numerous times on the little stuff. Okay, so that's not somebody you can't trust. That's not a trustworthy guy that you can count on. He's already shown you that. Is he the kind person who treats other people with tenderness and respect and gentleness with other people? When he tells you he's going to do something, does he do it or does he leave you hanging? Do you always have to have a plan B? Because you never really know if he's going to come through. You just never know. And so you always have a plan B back up in case he fails you. And then if you got to do like that, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with that? Does he do what he says he's going to do? Be who he says he is? And is he consistent with his actions? Those things are key. So you can count on him. That means that he walks the walk. He talks the talk. That's real. Okay. He's trustworthy. He's authentic. He's someone that you can count on. Now, these things to me bring a woman a lot of peace of mind, because when you can trust your guy and you know that he takes care of business, he relieves a lot of stress. He is like that dude that you got your back. You can count on him. He's dependable. Okay. You relax. That's what he brings to your life. Okay. So I want you to understand how I'm thinking about this. I'm not thinking about, this thing that's running around here and everybody talking about get the bag, get the bag. We're going way deeper than that. Okay. And on this channel, we don't promote that kind of behavior. On this channel, we promote mature, responsible adult behavior and mature, responsible, full frontal adult relationships. Now, this is a part of it. Okay, this homework that you guys are doing. So let me move on to point 2. The guy, one of the things I think that they should be able to communicate to you is that he understands himself. He understands who and what he is. He understands why he made the choices he made in the past. He understands what those ramifications were, how they either made him suffer or helped him grow, and he's able to communicate that to you. He should understand fully his role in the things that happened to him in his life, and the part that's so fabulous is he owns it. Okay, he's not trying to dip and dodge and put the responsibility and blame shift to other people. Oh, no. This here is a real man. He understands himself. He understands why he did it. And like I said, he owns his choices. This is a guy who is accountable and has, a certain sense of integrity about how he conducts himself. So you two, you're on the same page with your what am I trying to say? With how you've kind of reviewed your past relationships. You know how you look at your race, okay, what was my role in those, in the failure of this? Why did it happen this way? And you take the time to look at yourself honestly and figure out, okay, well, yeah, this person did do that, but I did this and this and this too, kind of thing. Okay, so, you're approaching this from a very realistic way, and you know what you did wrong, and you've gotten to a place where you're not trying to repeat that behavior in any new relationship. He's that same way. He has great introspection into why he's the way he is. He can explain it to you, and he's very relaxed about his mistakes. He's not ashamed of himself for making them. He learned his lesson. He can laugh about it now. He's accepting of himself. That is big, okay? So for this guy, being narrow-minded and being stingy and nitpicking people, nagging them and all that stuff are big no-nos. He's not trying to treat you that way. He don't want you treating him that way. He's learned to let go of things and laugh at himself and his situations. He's very thoughtful in his words and his actions. And women, we always appreciate a man who has that higher level understanding, of concepts and the meaning of life and all this kind of stuff. You guys can have some very interesting conversations when you have a man who's introspective like that. And he's got, a broad perspective on life and and the world, and he possesses the ability to focus on the big picture instead of being that kind of person who must have immediate gratification, and he's reactionary and in the moment. Okay, that's what you want. You don't want somebody who's reactionary and emotional and who needs instant gratification like an infant. That's not the dude. So you got a guy who is self-aware like this. He made an effort to share himself with you and to understand himself and to be able to tell it, what he's learned with to you. Okay, that's great. I mean, that's you can get really close to a man like this. These guys are also very sensitive and unselfish and romantic lovers. A guy who knows himself and comfortable with himself exudes confidence. Okay, and that confidence carries over into the bedroom. His understanding of himself and ability to communicate and all that. So he creates a very fulfilling romantic life for you as his woman, full of passion, and it's just good stuff going on. He has great conversation, and he can provide you with the kind of emotional intimacy that you crave, that you have not been getting in relationships in the past. A guy who doesn't understand himself and isn't willing to express who he is to you will never be in a position where you two have really great intimacy. So your lovemaking will be reflecting that. So let me move on to number 3. This guy communicates. He's going to be able to tell you these things, right? Remember, these are the things that if you say, what's in it for me, he should be able to express things that he can bring to your life that's going to make you be happier, feel more secure, make you feel safe, all this kind of stuff. And so this is my point number 3. He should be able to communicate to you in a way that makes you feel heard and seen. Now, one of the videos on the channel, I was on this dude's video, and he was telling guys that you have to make a woman feel insecure and make sure that she knows that she's not important to you and all this kind of stuff. And in a situation like that, I was wondering what kind of woman would be stupid enough to be in a relationship with a guy like this. But, the guy, even if you ask him this, what's in it for me, and he tells you this point here, point number 3, this is something you should have already been able to observe. Him being able to vocalize it is great, but you should already be seeing proof that this is his style of communication. You see what I'm saying? He shouldn't just be talking it. He should have already proven this, and him just vocalizing it just will kind of, seal the deal. So him saying it will show that he understands how important communication is between a couple. To be smooth and easy and everybody be on the same page and understand each other and all that. And men know that women want their attention. Of course you want his attention. He wants yours too. And if you two have communication that flows so that you both feel seen and heard, man, there is nothing more romantic and sexy than that. It will make you feel closer to him. Women bond with words. Women are very auditory, and women want to know that their man is in tune with them emotionally, and that is typically done with words. Because, we like words. Oh, my God. That's why I be getting on y'all. Don't be going by what he says. Well, he say this, he say that. Well, that's great, but what is he doing? And in this case, I acknowledge that women are very auditory, very, very vocal. That's why we talk so damn much. And then women, we like to sing, and we love music, and we talk to babies, and we talk to our dogs and cats. And women can be on the phone for hours. They get together, just run their mouths. Women like words. Women like to hear words. So I'm not saying, your dude should be doing all of that, but he should be able to have conversations with you that are funny, that show how much he loves you, and as well as share, the husband-wife day-to-day stuff, just basic information. But he should be able to tell you things about what he's thinking, what he's feeling, while he's listening to you say the same thing to him. He should not have a problem telling you that you are beautiful, how much he loves you, how great your cooking is. And he's polite and thoughtful. He thanks you for the efforts that you make for him and for the household and for the family. So in this is point number 3, we acknowledge life can be really hard. And a lot of times, even when you're in a relationship, you still feel lonely at times. We want to have a situation though where a guy is offering this trait to you. Is going to benefit you because you'll have somebody by your side who can pick up on your emotional distress. When men are great communicators, people communicate on so many different levels, right? There's the body language, there's the voice, there's the words, there's facial expressions and all of that. So you kind of put on tonal qualities of voice. So you put all of those things together, and you got a guy who can pick up on that. He'll be able to know when you're not, when you're kind of under distress. But he can do that because you on his radar. You're important to him. He's looking at you to make sure that you're okay. He listens to you when you're hurting. He provides emotional support, and he cares enough to help you get through it so you don't have to feel like you're all by yourself anymore. You're not going through this alone anymore. Thereby, when you have a guy that offers this into what you bring it to me, what's in it for me, he's going to alleviate a lot of stress, and it makes you feel happier because you feel loved. And when you feel loved, then you have more peace of mind. So by him being a great communicator who's open and honest and makes you feel seen and heard, that's a great benefit to you. So you guys starting to understand how this is going. Now, it's probably some stuff you have never heard before, but I think it's very important. I've been listening to the advice letters that come in and watching the comments in the chat room and the stuff that's posted on the wall. And nobody really focuses on this kind of stuff. I haven't seen any of you talk about you having peace of mind and feeling secure and safe. And I think these are some of the key things that are missing when we have relationships with all this angst in it. Women don't feel secure. They don't feel safe. They're stressed the hell out, and the man is the one who's stressing them. So let me move on to point 4 and 5 and then wrap this first segment up. Okay, number 4. This man offers you a solid and real and true partnership. Now this is this is really interesting in the black community because so many men focus on submission. They always talking about somebody need to submit to them. And all crazy, silly nonsense. Essentially, he wants to position himself to be the boss and dictate and controlling everybody. And I find that men who have that to demand all that submission tend to have a very sexist view of women and what is women's work and what women should do and all this kind of stuff, which I think makes them a very poor choice for a partner. Every woman I've seen with a man he's demanding submission, she look raggedy because she's stressed out. She be doing too much. But when you got a guy who offers true partnership, though, it means that he puts as much into your children and the household as you do. You share parenting 50-50. He's not like a dusty bum who puts the burden and responsibility on your shoulders while he sits his butt on the couch playing video games and relaxing. So they usually do, it kind of works out like, these are just some examples. Like if you cook, then he helps the kids with their homework, right? While you cooking. So then he washes the dishes while you prepare lunches for everybody. Y'all in the kitchen together, you catching up, you talking and giggling and whatnot. So then you get the kids a bath, you get them ready for bed, and then he goes and throws some stuff in the laundry and folds up some of the stuff that's in the dryer, right? And puts it away. So now everybody's in the bed, you read them a story and everything. So then everybody goes to bed. Okay, so then in the morning, you pack them up for school, and then he drops them off at school on his way to work. So you see how this works? You guys working together like a team, like a well-oiled machine. And this is that dude, and this is what he expects of himself. He's just nowhere in his mind would he ever think that he's supposed to put all that burden on you. Yet, how many men do that? So many women are married and acting like single parents because their men don't do nothing. And the women are what? Stressed out. They're overburdened and stressed and tired. And their men are just don't do anything to help them out. So if you got a guy who offers you true partnership, you'll be able to avoid one of the top arguments that couples have, which is the household responsibilities. People will break up over that. All kind of problems will happen because somebody's not doing their fair share. So if you got a guy who offers you this kind of true partnership, he's going to leave you a lot of free time to enjoy your life a little bit in the evenings that you probably don't you wouldn't get otherwise. You also feel supported. You'll feel loved. You'll feel respected. And you will feel like, he's right there. If you ever ask him for help, he's right there. Better yet are the ones who you don't have to ask. They just jump up and do it. Those are the best ones. But basically, he puts stuff in a position so that you can relax some. He's going to help you alleviate a lot of stress because you have a partner. Not only will you be happier, you'll have more energy for the bedroom, which basically will also benefit you as a stress reliever, make you feel loved, and increase intimacy between you and your man. So he's going to benefit from that one just like you. But all in all, a guy who steps up and is a true partner, his woman is always happy. Okay, then the last one for this video is point 5. He takes care of you. He takes care of you in ways that make you feel safe and secure. Now, this, everywhere we turn, we as women, womanhood is just under attack. I don't even know any other way to put it. Women, there's like a war being waged on women's self-esteem, our sexuality, and our safety, our very bodies from a very young age, and it's happening worldwide. So it's really kind of hard to escape it. Women do need a safe place, though, to recharge and to rest and to escape those kind of negative messages that are directed at us. So, because you get it offline and on. You get it at work, you get it home, you get it at church, you get it walking up and down the street. I mean, it's just crazy how things are happening like that. So a woman in a relationship, though, she needs a partner that she can trust to protect her and to make her feel safe to the best of his ability. Part of that, was discussed, previously. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but you need to be in a position where you can trust that the dude is strong. He's not just going to run around and fold and break like fold up like a bad poker hand. He's the kind of guy where you don't feel like you need to monitor what you say to protect him from reality. A lot of women have men like that. They be scared to tell him stuff because he's not going to handle it well, or he can't deal with that kind of pressure. So she has to deal with the stuff on her own because she knows he can't do it or he won't do it. But, as a woman, you got a man. I mean, you need to be able to be in a position where you can feel vulnerable and have a strong shoulder to cry on. If you don't have that, then what kind of man is he? You also need to know that you can try new things in bed or out of bed without being judged for it, right? He has to be the guy who lets you know that he won't be, if something bad happens, he's not going to be that guy that just sits down in a pile of defeat on the couch. He's going to be resilient. He's going to, just because it didn't happen the way that he wanted to the first time, that doesn't mean he's going to give up. He's resilient and he perseveres. And that makes women feel secure because you see, well, he's not giving up. He's that way didn't work, but he's still kicking. He's still going strong. Baby, yes, I'll be your cheerleader, this and that. I mean, it just makes you feel really good when you see that you have a guy like that. And he demonstrates that he empathizes with you and he understands you and he's there to reassure you that he's going to be there for you under any and all circumstances. Okay? How safe and secure would you feel with a man like that? Emotional safety to women is like at the top of our list of everything. And this guy is able to express his love for you, not just in words, but in actions too. He does not run around cheating on you. He's not staring at women to make you feel insecure. He's not saying crazy stuff to you to make you wonder if, when he's leaving or is the shoe gonna drop. You always know where he is. He's not a corner cutter. Okay? He doesn't try to hide anything from you. And if he sees or you tell him that some situation or some person is causing you emotional distress or making you feel, doubtful or insecure about the relationship or this person's motives and this kind of stuff, he will cut that clown, them people loose so fast because you and your heart and your relationship with him is his top priority. He wants you to feel safe and secure. He does not want you stressed out and worrying about anything. Okay? Of course, another component of that is financial security. And I think a lot of guys don't understand that. It doesn't really matter how independent his woman is. We always feel more secure when we have a man who takes care of the family and steps into the role as a provider. Most women work, but I don't think a woman should ever be expected to financially hold the household down while the guy is lagging. I just don't see it. I don't care if he got to get 3 jobs. You be the man, be the provider of your household. No woman ever feels secure, in that kind of setup where the guy's not doing his fair share financially and she's doing the most. So the bottom line here is when you got a guy who offers you this kind of security and safety, you do benefit from this. You benefit immensely, as a matter of fact. You can relax because you know he got this. You have a safe place to cry. You got somebody that you can open up to emotionally. You got somebody that you can open up to sexually. You'll be able to grow and develop yourself in ways that you would never be able to do if you did not have that kind of guy. Or if you were by yourself, because he provides that comfort, that comfort zone and that safe space. And you trust him. So your stress dissipates, right? You're not stressed out. And when he provides these things, you'll be able to heal some old emotional damage. Some old hurts will slowly start to heal because you have somebody in your life who's he's showing you a different way. He's doing things differently. And you'll be able to blossom in ways that you can't even imagine when you have that kind of safety net around you. It's a really nice feeling. So those are the 5 things of the list. I think I'll have about 10 or 11. So we have about 5 or 6 more that I will finish up next Sunday. So that'll be your next Sunday sermon. In the meantime, I want you to think about these 5 things, these 5 points. Think about the men that you've been with in the past. Did they offer you any of these things? If they did, which ones? How did they demonstrate them? How did you feel in that situation under those circumstances? If you were with a guy who did not offer you these things, why did you stay with him? Why did you give it him in the first place? What was your motivation to get with that particular guy? Now, be honest. That's going to be part of this. Is part of the growth to get you to see that, whatever you guys been told about choosing someone to be with was only part of the story. And in this instance, I want you to go deeper and pick somebody who's going to be good for you over a long period of time and who's going to make your life experience richer and better for having been in a relationship with him. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to last forever, but the time that you do spend together with him will be memorable and it will be beneficial to your growth and development as a woman. And that's what we're looking for. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. Please hit that like button and become a subscriber if you're not already to the channel. And we'll be back on Tuesday with What the Fuck Tuesday and Relationship Advice column. And then I'll finish up this series on, next Sunday. You'll get the 3rd and final video of the series. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.